Hello, my name is Chloe, and today I will be talking about the recovery of the business travel sector in the UK after the impact of COVID-19. So work travel are trips individuals go on, especially for work purposes. Normally they are a certain meeting or conference, or sometimes just an incentive to motivate employees. TMC 2023 state that there are a number of reasons why businesses take advantage of these trips. One being that so employees can network with an array of individuals from that industry. Another one being seeing samples and examples of products that your business may be investing in, or just going to a meeting or conference that has relevant information or of interest to your business. The poster will now explain the recovery of the business travel sector that it is making from the impact of COVID-19 and some recommendations I have come up with to get the sector back and better than it was before. So before COVID, things were very different for the UK business travel sector. The sector was making huge amounts of money, millions annually for the UK. In 2019, just before the pandemic hit, Horsfield 2020 states that overseas residents spent 28.4 million on visits to the UK, which is an increase of 7% compared to 2018. The average spent per day within these visits was £98, and the average amount of money individuals would be spending on their whole entire trip was £696. All of this money would be going to indirect businesses that are making profit off business travel sector, but they're not directly linked to the trip itself. So this could be bars, restaurants, cafes, tourist attractions, and many more. The spending of the individuals coming overseas to the UK really boosts the UK economy as it has many possible positive outcomes, such as creating more jobs. The business travel sector in the UK saw a peak in 2016 with 9.4 million visitors, but slightly decreased to 8.7 million in 2019. Although the peak of the business travel sector in 2016 would have been strongly impacted by the referendum in the UK deciding to leave the European Union. Although beside the decrease, BCD Travel 2020 still states that London was the top city for intra-European business travel in 2017, 2018 and in 2019. So the table above shows the BVEP 2020 stating the figures that overseas residents flying into the UK to attend a business event in 2018. This shows the number of visits, the number of nights that were spent in the UK and the amount of money spent while the visitors were in the UK. So the tourism multiplier equation shows us the economic benefits that have come from a specific sector, and also showing the amount of money going back to the countries where businesses operate in. The tourism multiplier equation in the business travel sector shows how it impacts the UK economy and the domino effect it has impacting many organisations and individuals within the process. If you look at the diagram above, it shows that just from the tourism that business travel sector brings to the UK, it can pay towards schooling for young children. COVID hit the business travel sector hard as the world came to a halt, not only impacting this sector but nearly every organisation and industry in the world. TravelPerk 2020 stated that the business travel came to a complete standstill when the pandemic hit, stating that 86% of people that were surveyed had to cancel their plans for international business travel due to flight restrictions, lockdowns and travel bans. All business work, meetings and conferences were all switched very quickly to online. Lowell 2021 states the impacts of the travel sector had during the pandemic. 465 companies took place in a survey, and only 35% of them said that they would continue to conduct business travel during the pandemic. This would have been allowed as some countries were letting individuals into the country on a strict work basis. Although this was allowed, the business travel sector still took a massive decline as employees did not want to risk travelling to other countries and being on airplanes in close proximity to other people. As no one could travel around the world, the UK, more specifically Greater London, saw a massive decline in room occupancy from 2019 to 2020, with just 20% of some rooms occupied in July 2020 compared with 90% in the same month in 2019. The progress the business travel sector in the UK has made in recent years has been very positive, especially in 2022. There are many articles stating how from the year 2022, the business travel sector is beginning to match pre-COVID statistics. GIL 2022 stated that in the last week of February 2022, it was the UK's business travel sector's strongest week since the start of COVID-19. GIL 2022 also stated that it had a 403% increase in new business travel bookings compared to that same week in the previous year of 2021. An article later in the year, in June 2022, states that 68% of business leaders and travel managers expecting to see the business travel sector return to pre-pandemic levels, which would be very good for the UK economy. Taylor 2023 states that in 2022, when the UK corporate travel was worth more than 27 billion to the UK economy, it was also stated that the sector accounted for more than 283,000 full-time jobs and that face-to-face meetings are much more effective and engaging with the business. The amount of jobs that this sector provides also reiterate the tourism multiplier equation and that domino effect business travel has on the UK economy. As the business travel sector has many positive outcomes to the UK economy, it would be beneficial to have statistics match or even increase from pre-COVID times. So here are some recommendations that could help achieve that. So one recommendation I have is for the accommodation sector, mainly hotels, to make the environment more comfortable and for business travel guests to have offers or deals if travelling within a group. Agencia 2022 states that hotels are aware that a lot more business employees are working remotely and on the go, which means that they have made changes to their rooms and to their hotels, making it easier for them to work in. For example, this could be having a good office desk with natural light within the rooms and having the business centres and meeting rooms within the hotel. I just think this attracts more business travel individuals and makes them return to that same hotel if they know that they could work comfortably within their office space or within their rooms. I would also suggest a discount code that business travel individuals could use a free breakfast included if they stay one night. This can just help the different hotels make sure that they have a higher chance of visitors returning to them in other years. Another recommendation would be to have more support from the government. After COVID-19, the Tourism Recovery Plan, it was stated that the government would be putting £19 million into domestic and international marketing activity to help business attract those customers again. The government could also support these companies by booking directly with them when they're travelling for business, and this will give the companies more exposure and it will also help out smaller businesses in the future.